Are women messing up their own dating lives? In today's episode of Dating with Katy, I'm going to be chatting with you why I actually believe they are. Now, don't take offense to this too early because ladies, there's probably something in here that you're doing because I see it all the time that you might need to work on. And guys, I know you're going to appreciate some of the things because I am defending you in today's podcast. So, want to thank you all for joining and subscribing. Hit that button. You guys want to get up to date on all of my new podcasts. You guys are 15 minutes long, 1% of your day. And I've got some great stuff coming out. Now, make sure season 1 is all about dating online. I am a fan of dating online. I know it's a lot of work, but make sure that your profile is standing out. And speaking of profiles, make sure that you guys get into my network. Link is below. And if you might need some help, if you like a matchmaker in your life, if you would like some coaching, if you need some sexy steps to confidence, or if you need a Confidence 101 coach, check out the links below. My Confidence 101 course is just for men. That is a one-time purchase. You'll love it. It's everything a woman is wanting you to know. I teach it to you in that course. 1 hour long, very simple. And ladies, for you, 7 steps to sexy is going to be 7 lessons on what you need to do to get that sexy groove back. I've been there, I've been frumpy, and I turned it into fabulous. So check those out. Well, let's get started because today is action-packed, as action as podcast can be. And I know this one is going to be a little bit hard for women to hear, but I'm using stories from my real life matchmaking situations from friends. I just had a text from a buddy today of a woman who ghosted. It pissed me off to no end. Like, ladies, your behavior is becoming a problem in dating. And now I'm sure I will make a podcast at some point for men and their behavior. So know that it goes both ways. But let me share with you what men tell me all the time. And this is what bothers me, is that it's happening way too much for this to be good dating behavior. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing I do want to say, though, is make sure that you own it. I used to be a teacher. I had a giant sign that said own it. So if any of these are you, and I have 6 points, any of these are you, own it, let's fix it. Also, make sure you check out my episode 7 where I share with you what men are looking for in a woman. And it's my 3 F's. Go listen to that. I'm a firm believer in it. I hear men day after day tell me what they're looking for. Go check it out. Also, episode 28 is tests in dating. Also a great one. Tests that you do as a female and tests that men do to see if you're a quality person. Well, let's talk about number 1. Women, you are jumping to conclusions. 2 examples of this, and I can't believe this happens still. A gentleman was just sharing a text thread that he had inside of Hinge, and they were doing a lot of texting inside the app. Obviously, they had not moved off the app, which I do believe you should, but that's all right. They were going to go get coffee, which, again, not a huge fan of the coffee date, but nonetheless, inside the thread, they're chatting, and he says, "This is so much fun learning about you, but let's save it for our date on Wednesday." Now, understand, this was a Monday chat conversation within Hinge. Then, on Wednesday morning, so no conversation on Tuesday, which is fine. People have lives. You've not even met the guy. It is okay that he did not check in with you. You should be dating multiple people, chatting with multiple people. You know that the date is set on Wednesday. On Wednesday morning, he sends her a text. So looking forward to meeting you, which every gentleman should be doing that before a date. 24 hours before the date, you should be sending that text. 12 hours before the date, that's fine. If it's an evening date, in the morning text, right? That's totally, perfectly suitable. If you've made a plan, you have to trust that this person is quality. And if they're not, they'll show themselves true. But this guy was quality. He said, "Hey, let's hold this conversation for our date on Wednesday." He double checks in with her. She says that same morning, "Well, you didn't check in with me soon enough, so I already made other plans." Really? Really? He said it on Monday, was excited about meeting you, checked in on Wednesday morning, and you still cut him small. And so, ladies, if this is you, then this is your problem because you're not trusting, you're not believing people to be people of their word. And even when somebody is, you're still going to miss that person. Here's another example. My buddy just texted this to me. Went on a great first date. They were chatting. He set up a second date, and then she ghosted him. He called her, ghosted him. Didn't pick up the phone. Shame on this woman. I want to call her and give her a piece of my mind. How dare she be chatty. If you don't like the guy, say, "Hey, I think you were great. Wasn't the right fit, but cheers to you, and make sure you listen to Dating with Katy." So if you are not behaving appropriately and responding to gentlemen this way and leading them on, shame on you, ladies. This is what you need to do instead of doing these childish behaviors, because I know my followers, we date like adults. Ladies, it is perfectly clear to ask for clarity. So for example, let's go back to the Monday chat to the Wednesday date. If she didn't know if he was going to show up, she should have texted him on Tuesday in the chat box on Hinge and said, hey, I just want to clarify we're still on for tomorrow. If that is happening 2 hours before your date and you still haven't heard from him, ladies, you're in charge of your own life and your own schedule. If he's going to be a jerk and not show up, then just check. Now, guys, I'm telling you, you should do it 24 hours to 12 hours, in a reasonable timeline right before the date. Hey, I can't wait to see you. Here's the details of the date again. But ladies, if he has not done that, it is okay to say, hey, checking in, want to make sure the date is still on. Hey, checking in, where am I supposed to meet you? Now, if this guy is not a good communicator, you'll know that. And you could still go on the date with him. Maybe something happened, you don't know. These men are not going to put 100% into you because they haven't even really gotten to know you. So stop expecting them to give you 100% of their life because they just met you on an app. It's an unreasonable expectation. So ladies, you are not chasing a man by getting clarity so that you can schedule your life. What you're doing is adulting. And you would do that in a business fashion. When I have a call with any of my clients, or in the morning, I will usually say, hey, looking forward to our chat at 2:00 today. That's it. That's all I need to do to be professional with another person. And ladies, you can do the same in a professional way. You guys know that later in life, we understand relationships are like a merger. So it is okay to use some business sense in this. All right, let's move on. Here's what you're doing. You're expecting men to read your mind. I say it all the time. Stop it. Nobody reads your mind. As a matter of fact, your kids don't, your husband doesn't. If you're listening to this, nobody reads your mind. So instead, be directive. Tell a man exactly what you want. You just met him and, you want to go to these 3 restaurants, or give him 3 restaurant ideas in the early season so he knows which 3 you want, rather than expecting him to go pick out the best restaurant. Be directive. Even if you think he can't afford it, even if you think he's not going to want to take you there, at least you know then. But be directive. And do me a favor, go listen to my episode 9. The whole thing is about women being directive, okay? So that one, just go listen to there. Number 3, you want to fill your free time, your minimal free time. This one really gets me. Now, I understand a lot of you are single moms out there. You are now on a schedule with an ex-husband. Some of you have full custody of your kids. Some of you on a 225. You're doing week on, week off. And so you just want filler. And I'm not talking about the face filler, and that's okay if you want to do that too, because I do. It's fine. But you want to fill your time with men, but really you don't have time for a relationship. And that is okay, but just be fully honest from the beginning. Hey, look, I'm just looking to date. I am not looking for a relationship. And this is what I've seen, is that I have set my clients up. My clients are serious. They're not joking around. They didn't pay me to go on lots of dates. Only once have I had one client, and he was fancy pants. So that I understand, and that I will always preface. But all my other clients want a relationship. They are hardworking men. They put their time in. They're ready to travel and find someone amazing. And when I set you up with a client, you better be darn ready to give that man some time. If you are not, you tell me now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, this is my new question for all women I interview. On a scale of 1 to 10, how truly available are you? Some of you aren't even available 1 time a week. It blows my mind. Like, you literally can't make time once a week to see a guy. Really? Is your life that important? Are your kids that important? And yes, a good guy will get you a babysitter if you can't afford one. He will make things happen and shift things in your life for you. But if you are not available, why would he do that? So shame on you for wanting to just date for fun during a season when someone wants to date for a longevity. So make that just clear. Be honest with your availability. Another thing too, with some of you younger boss babes, and Laura, our other matchmaker, she was saying this, how you guys literally will say, oh, I can't go on a 7:00 date because I have to work in the morning. Really? And that's why you're 38 and single. Make time. Make time for good men. Okay. Number 4. And this, I love this one. You are so darn picky. And I put picky in air quotes because that's what you call it. But you know what you really are? You're super critical. So I have a client, very good looking, older guy, 55, in good shape, got 6-pack abs. I had a girl and I was like, check out his bio, check out his photos. She said, can you send me another photo? So I sent her a single shot of the photo. She scrolls in, makes the photo bigger, says to me, he's got bad teeth. Now, excuse me, my clients do not have bad teeth. And if my clients had bad teeth, I would tell them that they had bad teeth. So none of my clients have bad teeth because, one, they got money. They have good teeth. Now, they might not have veneers, I'm sorry, but they have good teeth. And look, I don't have perfect teeth. One is kind of moving. One has a receding gum line, and you don't have to go look and check. But I know that my teeth aren't perfect, but I have good teeth. So my clients will also be of that echelon of people with good teeth. Now, here's what I decided. That if this woman is so picky that she doesn't want a guy who will take her to the Ritz-Carlton in the Maldives, who will, just enjoy life with her, who will spoil the heck out of her, he's such a great guy. As a matter of fact, one of the girls he dated, she wanted a bigger closet, and because he works in construction, he's like on it. In the first 2 months of dating, he was ready to do a whole new construction on her closet. And we're going to get to that in a minute because that is not love bombing, by the way. That is a good man who cares and heard you. So for you picky women, what you are is critical. And actually, they've just created this delusional calculator, which I have to tell you, it's called the Female Delusional Calculator. And if you've ever listened to the TED Talk about the woman who was looking for the Jewish guy that didn't like sports, that lived in New York, of this age, who came from this, I mean, her criteria was ridiculous. And so, of course, the funnel gets smaller. And she figured out the percentage it would take. She figured out the number of men in New York who would fit her criteria, and I think it was 4. Now, ultimately, she married a guy, but she realized how ridiculous her list was. And if you know anything, my list that I create is how I want to be treated. It is not looks, okay? So in the Female Delusional Calculator, and you can go do this. Ladies, I recommend you do this. Guys do this for, shits and giggles. But go look at IGotStandardsBro.com. And they did this one, and this is based off the census. So it is for men who are not married. You have to pick that. Please pick men that are not married in the age of 28 to 45 of any race that are 5'9", because 5'9" is the average height for men. So ladies, stop with this 6-foot man dream. By the way, save that for tall girls. Every tall girl out there is thanking me right now. You also can click not obese men unless you're okay with that, but a man who makes at least 100,000. So this is the criteria. You put it in this little calculator. In America right now, only 5.6% of men are of those qualities. Okay, 5.6% of men. Now look, age 28 to 45, that's not my age range. Not a lot of my listeners are going for that. So I redid it to something I would want to date. Okay, so I'm 46. I don't date younger, but you could put 45. I put to 60. I have dated older, and because again, age is energy, not a number. So in my calculator, I wrote age 47 to 60, 5'10". I would have done 5'9". That's fine too. I'll date 5'7", 5'6". I'm short. I don't mind dating short. White. I only date white guys. No offense. Just Asian men are just not my typical go-to, nor black. No big deal. No obese men for me. Sorry, not doing it. And I expect a man to make $200,000 a year. It's California. You can't have anything decent under that. You know what the percentage was of men? 0.2%. 0.2%. So if I were to look back, because I did do 5'10", gauge that down a little bit, open my age range, and also be realistic and stop being so critical. Because ladies, you want a man who adores you. Adores you. Now, moving on. I have 2 more. Here's the other thing. I talked about this. I spoke about it. Men who are love bombing you look different than men who care and are concerned about you early on. When a man knows, he knows. I've said it before. Men know in 3 seconds if they could date you. The longer they date you, the more feelings they get towards wanting to help you, be near for you, be around you. If you can't call a guy that you're dating to help you fix your flat tire, you shouldn't be dating him. Okay? And a lot of you like this toxicity in the men because they're hot. That's ridiculous, and that's why you're still single. Stop dating toxic men who are hot, because you know what? He's going to go date everything else. Instead, choose the good man who shows up for you, who hears what you have to say. He hears your heart. He doesn't just listen. He hears your heart, and he moves on it. And he is consistent. Ladies, go listen to my, I want to say 6 podcasts. It's the 4 things every woman should be looking for in a man. And number 1 is his effort. And lastly, ladies, this is why you're messing up your dating life, because you want to have it all. You think you can have it all. I'm going to tell you something, you can't, because something is going to have to give. When you want to try to be everything to everybody, you know what happens? You become a C average in everything. It's sad. I've tried it. I've tried to please everybody, and you can't. Focus on the most important thing, and I believe that is your relationship. That is your family, and that is your relationship. So ladies, stop being all over the place. Stop being so complicated. Men are simple. They do want to please you. Tell them what you want. There's been so much packed information in here. Don't play the victim. Stop blaming it on men. You attract what you are. So guys, I am just so adamant that I want quality relationships. I want to start hearing about great dates, great guys in your life, because I know they're out there. So start opening up your heart to them. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. You are going to want to keep listening, because I'm going to keep telling the truth here. I want to make sure that you guys are getting confident and you're successful and you're having fun dating. All right, until next time, cheers to great dating.